Today we'll be learning how to make a laptop bag. I'm Miss Ubok, and this is DIY with Ubok. If you are a new subscriber, thanks for joining the happy family. And if you are a returning subscriber, we're always glad to have you around. We're always glad to have you come back. And so today we'll be learning how to make a laptop bag. And we'll be teaching this. This video will be divided into two parts. One will be the basic pattern drafting, learning how to draft the basic laptop bag, so that even if you want to do something more complicated or something different, you have the foundational knowledge. And then the second big part of this video will be the coupling process with all the specification and everything. We'll learn how to put this together. And if this is what you're interested in, let's hop right into the video. So to start, I'll be dividing the board into two to determine its midpoint. The board is about 23 inches and the midpoint is 11.5. It's been a while I wrote on something like this. Okay, so we'll be using the specification for a laptop, or basically how do you determine the size of your laptop bag? It's determined from the size of the laptop. So usually the big laptops are either 15 inches to 16 inches. I'm not sure I've seen 18 inches laptop, but I want to design a small laptop bag that's supposed to be an 11 inches laptop. So I'll be making a 12 inches laptop bag. Why I'm saying this is that usually when your laptop is this exact size, it's advisable not to use the same measurement for your laptop bag, because if you intend to put extra materials and then plus the sewing, the cutting and everything, that 11 inches would have shrunk a little bit. So for example, this is your laptop and then you sew exactly the same size. By the time you sew, this part is gone, this part is gone, this part is gone, this part is gone. So the size you had used would be too small for this. So what we do is we give an estimated measurement around, so probably 1 inch all around. And so the size of this laptop is 11 inches, right? So we'll be using a 12 inches for the length. So what it means is that this, let me just draw this here and give it the measurement. Here will be 12 inches, and then the height here will be 10 inches. Let's have it that way. So 10 by 12 or 12 by 10. So now, because I've determined the midpoint here, and this is 12, the midpoint for 12 is 6, right? So I'll put my 6 here at this midpoint, and then mark here, and then mark the 12 here. So I'm supposed to get the straight line. So I want this part to be about 2 inches. I just want to leave 2 inches somewhere here. So we're mapping this out. That 2 inches I'm giving is necessarily not part of the measurement. It's just so that it shows where my base starts from. Okay. So be very careful just so you have the exact measurement. This is not accurately on that, but because I'm just doing a rough sketch. But if you're doing the real work, you need to apply caution. So we said the height of the laptop bag is 10 inches, right? So, or rather, let's make it 8. 10 a bit too high. Let's make this 8. Let's make this 8. So 8 inches here, 8 inches here, and then we can roll it out. And so we determined our midpoint, which was here. It is safe to do this. This is why what the L-shaped ruler is for, the right angled ruler is for, is so that it gives you a perfect edge. I have the small side where it's already rusted, like it's already rust, it's gone bad. The numberings are no longer there, but it's still very useful. So I'll be using it in this video as well. So don't forget that this is 12 inches still. And please do not forget your midpoint, which is supposed to be 6 inches, because it will be used in our measurement as well. And yeah, I'm using my old ruler. So measure this down. Even though this looks quite small, but it will help us understand how to get our basic measurements right. And then the next thing I do is to carve my edge. Usually I use materials that are circular in shape. I think this is quite big, but this is what I usually use for my 18-inch measurement. Now this gives me a very perfect edge. So you can look for something that you're comfortable with. Yeah, so now once we're done, we're going to wipe off all this fat, but let's just continue. Now you can, I don't know if I'm beginning to emphasize or see or imagine how the laptop bag is turning out to be. Now the next part for me is the zip. So where do you want your zip to be? Usually I don't like my zip exactly at the midpoint of the bag. I want it a bit up. So if this is the midpoint, so you know this is 8 inches, the midpoint is usually 4, right? It will be 4. Half of 8 is 4. I'll likely go by 3, or even, yes, let's say 3. So I will cutting this out. That is for this size of laptop bag. If the height is longer, that 3 might be different. Okay, so the next thing is also to determine the midpoint for that part, which is still going to be 6. So it's still going to be 6. Now I'm going to give an allowance here because this is the zip, right? So I'm going to give like a 2-inch allowance here and a 2-inch allowance here. Now there are several ways of attaching your zip to the laptop bag. If this is what you would, if you would like to learn how to attach your zip, please let me get this in the comment section. I'll be glad to do a video on how to attach your zip to a laptop bag. So we can wipe this off, and then here is your stitch for the zip. Imagine that here is your stitch for the zip. Just imagine this is your zip handle, something like that. Yeah. So now the next part of it is the handle. So we already know that this is our midpoint, and so I usually like to give, for this size of bag, I would like to give a 4 inches distance for my handle. So what that goes to mean is this midpoint in between this part, I'm ½ inch here, ½ inch here. So this midpoint we got, I'll do it again. I'll put ½ inch here, ½ inch here. I don't know if you get that clearly. So whatever I'm doing, and my handle sometimes is dependent on the size of the bag and dependent on what the person wants. So my handle ranges from size 12 to size 14, thereabouts. Yes, but for this smaller one, I wouldn't be using up to size 14 for this. And usually it depends on how you also want to fix in your handle. Do you want to fix in your handle at the stitch line, or you want to extend it downwards like this? Now in extending your handle downward, what kind of finishing do you want to have? Do you want to put a buckle, a D-ring, or whatever kind of ring? Sometimes this is what I do. After fixing my handle here, pardon the noise in the background please. After fixing my handle here, I like to stitch or cover this part up with a leather, and that could bring about a special kind of design. So what does that mean? So I bring down this measurement to something like, say, 2 inches downwards, and that's 2 inches downwards. So I get my straight row. Now this part is going to be another leather part, and then I give another. Now usually it's supposed to be about 1 inch, right? But I'll be showing us how to cut, what measurement will be cutting for this part. Even though at the end of the day, what you have here is about, the distance from here to here is going to be about 1 inch. But when you're cutting it out, you're not going to cut out 1 inch. You're going to cut out 1.5 or more. The reason is, when you're going to sew, if you had cut it by 1 inch, it will be difficult to fold it over. So what you're likely going to do is, you're going to cut out like 1.5 inches. This part under here is going to be folded in, and then this other part under here is going to be folded in. I don't know if you understand. Okay, so now I'm going to use a blue marker to help you identify what I was talking about. Now this part of the handle is going to be stuck be underneath this part, so I'm going to mark this blue. This part of the bag, imagine this part has been sewn. That's this part. This part I'm going to highlight right now. This part I'm highlighting right now has been sewn to cover that handle. So what we have here is, so sometimes some people like to put a different fabric or a different material here, just so that it gives it a different design. But I'm doing it so that you would understand what this means. So here it's covered, so meaning that this handle is sunk in. This handle is sunk in here, and there you have it. Whew, please pardon the noise. Okay, so basically we are done with this. So now this is where we wipe off this part. I hope you haven't forgotten. So this part, this is for your freehand sketch, and now we are done. We are done with this particular part. And so then you have your basic freehand measurement for your laptop bag, and this is a size 12. Yeah, so this is a size 12 by 8, and there you have it. This brings us to the end of our basic freehand drafting for the regular laptop bag. And please don't forget to like and also subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video. Bye.